Hi, my name is Nicholas Siegenberg in the Communications 100 class, and this is my submission for the informational speech on Slide Rock State Park. Now, during the first semester of this school year, my group of friends and I had been convinced to go on a day trip with my buddy Dylan's family. Everyone was down for the trip, even with his parents joining us, especially since they were going to be paying for all the food that we wanted, plus some extra stuff to bring back to the dorm. At this time, I had just moved out to Phoenix from San Diego, and I hadn't heard much about Arizona other than a bunch of heat warnings. So when Dylan's parents mentioned Slide Rock State Park, what came to mind was a slab of rock with water running down it that was just called a slide. I didn't mind going on a road trip with the boys though, so we packed into the car and drove up on a beautiful day. When we got there, I was impressed with how the slide rock worked, which was definitely not what I expected. Rather than just sliding down a trickle of water, the formation was shaped like a half tube that had slight twists and turns going down for about 80 feet, and the algae on the rocks made it slippery, so that when you sit down at the top of the slide, the current pushes you through the slide to the bottom of the pool. We had an amazing time hanging out with each other and Dylan's family, so I want to let everyone here know about Slide Rock State Park, so you guys and gals can enjoy the beauty of Arizona too. Some things I'll tell you about include some history behind Slide Rock State Park itself, and how to create an awesome weekend trip in Sedona with slide rocks and the many activities around it. Although Slide Rock State Park is popular for its slide and swimming hole, many don't realize that it was also a historic apple farm. The park was originally called the Penley Homestead, named after Frank L. Penley, who formally obtained the land in 1910 under the Homestead Act. Now, Penley was a very intuitive pioneer and was able to create a very unique irrigation system that is still used today at Slide Rock. With his irrigation system, he was able to plant his first apple orchard in 1912 while keeping livestock and growing other garden produce. Penley's farm is a prime example of Central Arizona's agricultural development and is one of very few homesteads left intact in the canyon today. Although apples were his forte, Penley also capitalized on the tourism of the canyon's recreational use created. The Canyon Road was completed in 1914, and with people coming in to see the canyon and wade in the creek's cool water, he decided to build cabins to accommodate the travelers in 1933, a few years before the road was paved. These cabins are still available for viewing, and you can still enjoy the apples from his farm while wading in the cool waters of Oak Creek Canyon. But you can do much more than just wade in the water at Slide Rock State Park. When you first drive up to the park, you'll find picnic tables and open grills where you can barbecue and throw the football around for a little bit. After a few rounds of throwing the ball and setting up shop at the tables, you can just start making your walk down to the Slide Rock. On the walk, you'll find yourself in a large clearing where the Slide Rock Market is located. There you can buy snacks, waters, Slide Rock memorabilia, and since somebody always forgets to bring it, the sunscreen. Once everyone is prepped to face the Arizona heat, you make your way down the path to Slide Rock. When you start getting towards the rocks, you have to watch your step though, since there is algae on many parts of the rocks, which make it very slippery. Going upstream will lead you to the top of the Slide Rock, where you just have to sit down at the top and let the water take you for a little trip. And the slide is fun and all, but we are college students here, and at this age, many of us want some more thrilling activities to take on. While Slide Rock is upstream, if you head downstream instead, you'll find a small cliff about 20 feet up where you can cliff jump into a larger pool at the bottom. This pool, located right under the highway bridge, is deep enough to be able to jump off of and has multiple points where one can test their adrenaline-seeking limits. There's the 20-footer, the 14-footer, and a small little 9-footer that can be jumped off all around the pool. And when you finally jump, the pool leads to a way back to climb up to the top of the jump so you can go again. I just kept jumping until the park closed at sunset, which was a blast. After cliff jumping and running around all day, the hot dogs and burgers tasted even better. Now, although Slide Rock is a lot of fun by itself, it can also be one part in a weekend's trip. If you want to explore more of the outdoors and see the beauty of Arizona, then hiking one of the nearby trails in Sedona would be perfect. One close trailhead is the Sterling Pass hiking trail, which has beautiful scenery throughout the hike, with large rock formations throughout the canyon and forest cover in many parts of the trail that have openings at certain points so you can get some decent views. But if you want some great lookout points, then you have to follow the Sterling Pass Trail to Vultee Arch, where you can find a huge, natural 40-foot rock bridge that stretches 50 feet across the Sterling Canyon. Now that is where you will find some great views of the canyon, but make sure you bring the right gear on this one. The hike is about 2.5 miles long, about 5 round trip, and can take 3 hours or more to finish. Make sure you take plenty of water and good hiking boots, because if you wear Vans on this hike, you will absolutely regret it. Also, near Slide Rock is the Manzanita Campground, in case you're coming in from further out with family or friends, or you just want to make a night of the trip. This campsite is open all year round and is only 0.9 miles away from the Slide Rock State Park, while also being almost right across the street from the Sterling Pass. With this site's interesting historical significance, fun times in the water, and proximity to other sites that help plan trips with more than just one stop, Slide Rock State Park is the perfect place to visit with friends and family of all ages. Since many students here from out of state or just haven't visited the Sedona area before, visiting Slide Rock and exploring the area around would be a perfect way to begin exploring Arizona. It's also a pretty easy trip, since people of all ages can enjoy this site and the sites around it, while also getting to drive into the history of this great state we live in. Thank you for listening. Any questions?